Good evening to you, our viewers. Welcome to this edition of the News in English here on Rwanda Television. My name is Sarishan Hore. We'll begin with the headlines. Rwanda is formally bidding to host a Formula One Grand Prix. Participants at the just concluded National Trauma Symposium in Rwanda are aiming at working together to address the trauma found in the country. And on the international scene, Syrian caretaker Prime Minister Mohammed al-Bashir has called on Syrians to seek justice without revenge after the government's collapse. Now the details. I hope you're having a great weekend. President Paul Kagame has emphasized that sports go beyond infrastructure development, highlighting the importance of nurturing talent. The head of state made these remarks on Friday. Prince Manzi has the details.
Christian Gakwaya, the president of the Rwanda Automobile Club, stated that Africa is home to untapped talent that must be nurtured, urging that this development should begin immediately.
The key to this race is Africa. With a young and dynamic population of 1.2 billion, Africa represents untapped talent, a vibrant economy, and a huge consumer base. As you all know, talent is evenly shared on the globe, but opportunities are not shared equally. As many drivers would say, the pole position is just the beginning. But to win a race, we need an engine, we need a cohesive team, and we need fuel, of course. Today, through this partnership, the winning formula, we have it here in Kigali. We have the team, we have the right leadership, and honestly, I cannot see a more powerful engine than the African youth. We must act together without leaving anyone behind.
Mohamed Ben Sulayem, the president of the Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, FIA, emphasized that education is crucial for developing the abundant talent present on the African continent.
You have the talent, yes, but who knows that the talent is there? And that's what we have to look for. I mean, there might be a taxi driver in Rwanda or Africa or anywhere else in the world, or a small young driver, but he hasn't the opportunity, but he might be a good driver, or she might be a good driver. So that is why we are reaching to people, that's why we're reaching to countries. But not everyone will become a champion. We don't have that much seats in the world. But then comes the education, the FIA University, that makes the best out of us. If you link education with the achievement that we have, I'm so confident that our FIA, as I said, it is a knowledge-led FIA. It's going to be at the top.
At the opening ceremony of the FIA General Assembly, President Kagame further emphasized that sports are not limited to infrastructure development, but are equally focused on nurturing diverse talents.
We understand that sports is not just about buildings or events, but requires an entire ecosystem to cultivate talent and excite fans. This has real and tangible impact, not only on our economy, but also for our people. For every hotel, recreation facility, or restaurant that gets built, new jobs are created. Rwanda is ready, and we want to welcome even more fans and visitors while aiming for the highest quality standards in everything we do.
The head of state also highlighted Rwanda's commitment to developing motorsports, emphasizing the country's bid to host the Formula One Grand Prix, a made-in-Rwanda cross-car remarkable achievement that showcases local talent and innovation.
Formula E is a good example where we are seeing the development of electric vehicle technology. In Rwanda, we are pleased to be working closely with the Federation to develop a cross-car manufacturing facility. With the FI's blueprint, students from Rwanda Polytechnic produced a low-cost prototype, the first of its kind, which I was very happy to see last night. This highlights the importance of a skilled workforce to unlock more career pathways in motorsport in Africa.
President Kagame expressed the pleasure of Rwandans in welcoming the participants of the FIA General Assembly, as well as those attending the awards ceremony for outstanding athletes in global motorsports.
Following the official announcement that Rwanda is bidding to host the Formula One Grand Prix by His Excellency Paul Kagame, Rwandan rally drivers have come out to support the initiative, saying it is a good opportunity to develop the sport in the country. William Evans Mutabazi with more.
Pinnacle of the motorsport, the highest and the fastest form of it, Formula One could return to Africa, ending a nearly 3-decade dry spell of the competition that was last hosted in 1993 in South Africa. This is what this event presents to Rwanda's motorsport.
First of all, what it represents for us as rally drivers is that it creates a baseline for ambitious projects in motorsport. Recently, you witnessed the official launching of a cross car that was made in Rwanda by RPRC, by Rwanda Polytechnic students. So this is one of the quick gains we can already see from a motorsport perspective. It will also motivate the local motorsport federation to level up our game through regional and continental participation, but also through motorsport engineering. We cannot talk about F1 and motorsport at that level without looking at the economic benefits and the tourism benefits for the country. Because the more people who visit the country, the more connection we create, and through networking, definitely we'll have our own benefits as Rwanda Automobile Club, but also the country will benefit even more.
According to the Michigan Journal of Economics, Las Vegas spent around $500 million on its 2023 Grand Prix and made $1.2 billion in profits, coming in form of expenditures at the hotels, restaurants, and other local businesses. Meaning, for the tourism industry, such an event could double or even triple its revenue. William Evans, Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
Prime Minister Dr. Edouard Ngirente has urged newly commissioned police officers to use their skills to preserve the country, what the country has achieved. The call was made on Friday as the Prime Minister awarded 635 new officers the rank of Assistant Inspector of Police. We have the details with Prince Manzi.
These officers were awarded this rank after they successfully completed a junior officer training course at Police Training School Gishari in Rwamagana district. They vow to earn and respect their new responsibilities. The first thing is to not use the power given to you for your own interests. You may be tempted to urge people to give bribes for services they are entitled to receive, but based on the lessons I've learned here, I will ensure that I give people justice and what they deserve without requesting bribes or showing preferences.
I would like to tell all women that we are powerful people. You can see it for yourself that we have concluded the training and the government has provided us with great opportunities. So it is now our turn to make use of it without waiting on others to help us.
The ceremony was also participated in by their parents and guardians who are proud of their young ones.
I would always hear about other people's children maintaining security in various countries around the world, and it would make me feel ashamed. I would wonder, what is my contribution? But now, I'm happy because there is a branch of me, and I can now sit proudly knowing that one of my descendants is serving in the security of our country.
On behalf of the head of state, Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente emphasized the pivotal role of security in Rwanda's development.
Aya mahugurwa kimwe n'andi yose ategurwa na polisi y'u Rwanda ni ingirakamaro.
These trainings, as well as other initiatives prepared by the Rwanda National Police, are essential in fulfilling their tasks of ensuring security, both within Rwanda and in international activities carried out by the Rwandan police. Over the past 30 years, Rwanda has continued to be a safe nation with a growing economy year after year. The developments and security are the result, and we must continue to preserve them through collaboration across all sectors, including the police. Security is the foundation of development for us Rwandans. The Rwanda National Police, along with other security organs, has consistently ensured the safety of our country, earning the trust of both Rwandans and friends of Rwanda. Generally, security in our country is stable, and this is evident to all of us. However, like anywhere in the world, there are times when actions may threaten security. This is why we must remain vigilant. Threats include cross-border crimes, drug trafficking, and crimes facilitated by technology, among others, or even crimes we face and fight against daily that can threaten our security.
N'ibindi bikoreshwa ikoranabuhanga cyangwa se ibindi dukomeje guhanga nabyo umunsi ku wundi bishobora guhungabanya umutekano wacu.
Among the graduates are 527 men and 108 women from the Rwanda National Police, the National Intelligence and Security Service of Rwanda, and the Rwanda Correctional Service.
On Friday, Prime Minister Dr. Edward Ngirente applauded educators for their dedication and contribution towards national development through teaching. This was during the International Teachers' Day celebration held at the Intare Arena. William Evans Mutabazi with more.
It was a full house affair at Intare Arena in Rusororo as teachers at all levels celebrated their day. The celebration included the presentation of awards to teachers whose students performed exceptionally well in recent national exams. Teachers are grateful to the government for recently increasing their salaries.
We are grateful to President Paul Kagame because we have realized that once he makes a promise, he by all means fulfills it. We are convinced our salary increment was because of him, and now many people regret not having become teachers.
Our salaries were increased and this made us happy. We are now able to pay our debts and still remain with some money left. And we are also able to pay our children's school dues. The Prime Minister conveyed a message from the President recognizing teachers for their vital role in shaping the Rwandan community through education services. Much as this is called the Teachers International Day, it's beyond just a day. We celebrate all achievements made in a long time, and together we seek to plan and set goals for the future of our education sector. As I have already mentioned, the President thanks you all for your service and dedication. The President is also happy that a number of your demands have been addressed and that you have continued to grow, especially by using Marimu Sako, like your colleague who got a loan and built a shop he now rents out. All this is contributing towards our economic development, and we are all participating and contributing to the bigger vision of our country as a whole. Rwandan government is investing heavily in high-quality education as part of the many initiatives to foster development and support a knowledge-based economy. William Evans, Mutabazi, RTV News.
Now, as we just noted in the headlines, participants of the National Trauma Symposium, that is the recently concluded one, are aiming at working together to address the trauma found in the country. Prince Manzi with more.
The symposium was organized as part of analyzing the resilience journey 30 years after the genocide against the Tutsi. Participants talk on the gaps found. I think that for children there should be relevant programs for children specifically because how children are treated is not similar for elders. There should also be experts understanding the mental state of children, as in Rwanda, there are only 2. And for those that learned children behaviors, they are not available. Children consuming drugs are to as well be taken care of, because at the end of the day, when they are treated at an older age, it is not effective. We have to consider more in families and the society at large, as there is trauma. The trauma that leads to various behaviors like drug abuse, irresponsibility, conflicts and violence. A family with conflicts achieves none, so the suggestion is to have a safe space where people can be taken care of easily, which would impact not only families but the country at large. Professor Vincent Sezibera, a mental health expert, tackles on the necessity of having citizens with good mental health.
imbaraga dukoresha mu kubaho mu miryango yacu.
It is beneficial because the strength we use to survive and be productive in whatever we do, it all goes with having good mental health. In addition is peace. Peace nationwide. It is a result of a good mental health.
Mutwe batekanye muri bo bituma n'amahoro abantu bagera ku mahoro arambye.
The participants of the National Trauma Symposium agreed that it would be held annually, while previously it was held once every 5 years. And this is done so that different institutions can discuss more on the development of better mental health.
Now to security matters, and the UK Special Envoy to the Great Lakes region has emphasized that the upcoming summit of heads of state on the insecurity in the eastern DRC should offer solutions to the escalating instability in the region. She made the comments during a press briefing on Friday. William Evans Mutabazi reports.
Following discussions between the heads of state of Rwanda, the DRC and Angola, as a mediator regarding the insecurity in eastern DRC scheduled for this week, the UK's Special Envoy for Great Lakes, Tiffany Sadler, has expressed UK support for the talks as a means to achieve lasting peace in the Great Lakes region.
We want to see an agreement reached. We hope that an agreement can be reached for the good of the region, for the sake of those IDPs that are in camps, as I say, some of whom I met. And because there is so much opportunity in this region, there is so much opportunity for people's jobs to be improved, people's lives to be improved. I saw traders at the border yesterday, and for their sake and for the sake of the region, we need to find a way towards peace, and that means first and foremost a political agreement. It means building on that.
The UK High Commissioner to Rwanda, Alson Thorpe, emphasized the strong partnership between Rwanda and the UK, focused on enhancing the well-being of people in both countries. Rwandan tea and coffee are highly valued in the UK market, and in the year ahead, trade cooperations between the two countries is expected to deepen.
But the one thing next year that I am going to do is that by March we have agreed that we will launch a new British Rwanda Chamber of Commerce, and we've had funding to support that, and what that will do will give UK and Rwandan business who want to trade with each other a real centre, a docking point to come together and explore those opportunities, and work out how to sort of manage the investment landscape here. I mean, I think the really important thing about Rwanda is that it is so easy to do business here compared to a lot of other countries in the region, and British companies really appreciate that. And while I know that Rwanda is a relatively small country of 13 million people, the thing that UK companies find really attractive about investing here is that it's easy to invest here, and then from here you can springboard into broader investments in the region. So it's an extremely attractive proposition. So I think actually what I'll spend next year doing is having a lot of meetings with a lot of British business wanting to invest in Rwanda.
Tiffany Sadler is Special Envoy to the Great Lakes and Head of Central and Southern Africa Department in the FCDO since July 2024. William Evans, Mtabazi, RwandaTV News.
On Thursday, at the Kigali Genocide Memorial, a book reflecting Rwanda's profound historical journey and its path to unity and reconciliation was launched. Enola Gladys Venimana with more.
The book Jacaranda was written by Gaël Faye, a Rwandan French artist and author, in collaboration with musician Samuel Kamanzi, incorporating music. Kamanzi explained the motivation behind this work. I believe that art is a powerful tool that all artists must use to fight against the denial of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi in Rwanda, especially because deniers are numerous. As artists, we have the responsibility to engage in this battle with the resources we have, particularly since we have large audiences who follow and listen to us. The State Minister in the Ministry of Youth, Sandrine Omotoni, urged the youth to understand the history of the 1994 genocide against the Tutsi so as to fight denial.
So the message we're telling our young people, we know Rwanda is very young, the majority of them were not around in 1994, so we want to tell them that they need to know the history of this country. They need to understand that there are many testimonies around this country that concern them, that they need to be familiar with, but we also want to encourage them to develop a love for reading, a love for literature, because through literature we are able to convey so many messages and reach an even bigger audience, because the fight against denial and against revisionism is still going on, and we do need to have as many voices as possible around, and young people have a role to play in this fight against the genocide denial.
Both Jacaranda and Petit Pays by Gaël Faye, addressing the genocide, have won international awards and been translated into 40 languages. Enora Gladys, RwandaTV News.
At the iconic mosque in Damascus, known as Moyad, Syrian caretaker Prime Minister Mohammed al-Bashir has called on Syrians to seek justice without revenge after the government's collapse. However, some worshippers say those who committed crimes against their families deserve the harshest punishment. VOA with the details.
Here at Umayyad Mosque in central Damascus, worshippers tell us it is a day of firsts. It is the first Friday prayers after the dramatic collapse of the Syrian government. It is the first time in decades that the prayers were accompanied by a speech without government-dictated talking points. For many people, it is also the first time attending this iconic mosque. Some tell us that under the fallen regime, they were too afraid to come here, as it was frequented by high-level officials who could view them as security threats simply for living in areas populated by anti-government activists. Syria's caretaker Prime Minister, Mohammed al-Bashir, speaking at the mosque, said Syrians need peace and justice, but urged worshippers not to attack those who attacked them. But some people tell us that fallen President Bashar al-Assad should be returned to Syria to face punishment for crimes against the Syrian people, which include the false imprisonment, torture, and murder of so many people that we are told that every family in Syria knows one of the victims at least. Reporting from Damascus, Heather Murdoch, VOA News.
Before we go, let us once again take a look at the headlines. Rwanda is formally bidding to host the Formula One Grand Prix. Participants at the just concluded National Trauma Symposium here in Rwanda are aiming at working together to address the trauma found in the country. And as we just saw, Syrian caretaker Prime Minister Mohammed al-Bashir has called on Syrians to seek justice without revenge after the government's collapse. Thank you for taking the time to join us during this edition of the news. I'll be with you again on Sunday, and I'll see you then. Goodbye.